6001. You can call in or you can message in via WhatsApp. And again, that number 284-6001. I look back in time on this day. The 1346 Battle of Crécy saw Edward III's English longbows defeating Philip VI of Spain's army south of Calais in northern France. And it was cannons, in fact, were they used for the first time in battle in 1346. 1682 on this day, English astronomer Edmund Halley first observed the comet named after him. In the year 1873, on this day, the first free kindergarten in the United States was started by Suzanne Blow in Carondelet, a suburb of St. Louis, Missouri. 1937, on this day, saw General Franco's nationalist troops conquering Santander during the Spanish Civil War. In 1959, on this day, the British Motor Company introduced the Morris Mini Minor, designed by Alec Issinjonis, and it was only 10 feet long, yet it sat 4 passengers. And in 1996, on this day, U.S. President Bill Clinton signed welfare reform into law, representing a major shift in welfare policy. And back in 1907, on this day, August 26, Harry Houdini escaped from chains underwater in 57 seconds at the aquatic park in San Francisco, California. We now move on to our dish of the day.
Serving now, the Daily Dish.
Welcome back to our program here at the Lunchroom on Radio Caribbean International, and we do hope that your midweek is going pretty well. Unfortunately, a couple of days ago, we got some sad news coming out of the Canadian capital, that of Ottawa. And it was in respect to a young St. Lucia national whose body has been found over in Canada. It was living there at the time, and in fact, it has now been originally being classed as being suspicious, and it is now being considered a homicide or a femicide. Just to share the story coming out of St. Lucia Times just yesterday, it reads as follows. Ottawa police have released the name of a man who was reportedly linked to the death of a St. Lucian woman found in an apartment building. Canadian authorities have declared the death of 27-year-old Casey Favre from Monrepo a femicide. Just before her body was found in the Canadian capital on Saturday morning, Quebec officers responded to a single car crash east of Highway 50 near Papineauville. They found a man inside with injuries that did not match the crash, and he was later pronounced dead. On Monday, police identified the man in the car crash as Kingsley Nwude, 34, from Ottawa. St. Lucia Times has learned from Nwude that Nwude was Favre's former boyfriend and originally from Nigeria. The night before her body was found, she reportedly told a family member that he had asked to meet and talk. Sources said that on the night before her body was found, neighbors heard disturbing noises from the apartment and called the police. Police arrived at the Lower Town home at 11:09 a.m. on Saturday, where they found Favre, who was later pronounced dead. An autopsy is scheduled for later this week. Favre had recently returned to Ottawa from St. Lucia to continue her studies. She attended St. Joseph's Convent and Sir Arthur Lewis Community College and was the first runner-up in the 2018 Miss Universe St. Lucia pageant. In 2023, she graduated from Carleton University. She was known for her involvement in her community and several organizations. Many groups and friends who knew her well have shared their condolences. And certainly we want to extend our condolences to the family of the late Miss Casey Favre of Monrepo. Very, very unfortunate, no doubt, for such a young life to be taken away, and certainly an individual who was doing so very well and was charting a great path for herself, and now to, of course, for that to have come to a sudden and most unfortunate end. Ottawa is the capital of Canada, and it is generally known to be a pretty quiet place, and a city that is not in the limelight like Toronto or Montreal, but certainly a part of the city, well, part of the province of Ontario, albeit bordering Quebec. It has generally been very, very safe, and so situations like that coming out of that city, a city that I think probably does not see more than about 2 homicides per every 100,000 in the population. I think last year it was less than 30, maybe about 27 or so homicides for a very, very large, relatively large city, about 600, 700,000 people. So certainly very, very unfortunate to hear that St. Lucian has lost her life over in Ottawa in such circumstances, and we definitely want to commiserate with her family and her friends upon this circumstance. Now, yesterday we were speaking on the matter of situation with water and El Nino, and the forecast, long-term forecast heading into the year 2027 being that we are going to be quite possibly looking at drought conditions. Thus far, for example, we are in approaching September, which tends to be the peak of the hurricane season, end of August into September. And we have actually, I think, in the Atlantic region, we have not seen more than 3 named systems. And so that just gives you a sense as to the impact of El Nino. It tends to subdue the presence of hurricanes, but it also means that in general it's subduing a lot of other things, including rainfall. And we are, in fact, in that rainy season right now. And yes, we are getting some rain, but I do suspect it's still lower than what is the norm, what is normally expected for this time of year. And the projections onwards, of course, is what is going to be worrying. Of course, we'll be dealing with more heat, and that comes with, of course, its own challenges. It means in those sort of situations and worldwide increased pressure mounting for having cooling, and that comes at a cost. And of course, at a time when we already have been seeing elevated electricity costs, it's a major challenge. The days gone by where passive cooling was the norm, well, a lot of our homes have not properly been designed to be able to take best use of that type of cooling or ventilation. And we are certainly going to be suffering from it. And as a result, of course, a lot of buildings today, for example, they're all glass and steel, and there's very little natural ventilation, and we are dependent on electricity for cooling. So all of these things are not working in our favor with these high temperatures, and of course the impact on water supply being of great concern. We, of course, quite often have been lamenting the state of the water infrastructure in St. Lucia, and the history of that perhaps has been one of always being behind the curve when it comes to being able to meet the demand. I think the first, as far as I'm aware, the first system, certainly at least for castries, was built sometime back in the 1890s, and very shortly after that was constructed, it needed to be upgraded because it was clearly inadequate. I think at the time, it was designed to provide maybe about 70,000 gallons of water or something like that per day. And just think about, not even, maybe about 130 years on, 140 years on, how many times that has had to be multiplied. Well over 100 times, 100-fold increase in the demand for water in the Castries, Grosley area. Quite likely the demand exceeding 10 million gallons per day. So we're seeing, of course, a tremendous amount of use now in our country, and a lot of it, of course, is tied to domestic use, but also a lot for commercial enterprise. And we are depending on clean, potable water for pretty much, you name it, for industry, for commercial enterprises, for the number of businesses that are completely dependent on water for being able to operate is very much critical. So we take these things for granted. It wasn't always that way in terms of availability, but we certainly have to now be thinking as to how we can look at conserving a lot more in terms of our water supply. That's a big help. It's the same argument that no doubt the island's electric utility is also making, that in instances where there are spikes in the price of energy, it is something that we currently have no control over because we are importing the fuel that is being used for the generation of electricity. It therefore means that the one lever of control that we have is putting off the switch and trying to cut back where we can, and to ensure that we are using less. It is quite often the best approach in terms of dealing with situations where there are challenges with supply. And we are going to be seeing challenges with water supply, no doubt, in many communities. It therefore means that we've got to be thinking about water storage, and that's at a local level, at a personal level, in our homes, as well, of course, at a national level. But it's not only here. Like I said, it is a worldwide phenomenon right now, and even countries that have been around for quite a while in this regard, like the United Kingdom, they have been facing tremendous strains in respect of water storage. And the UK's water story over the past maybe 20 years has been in part tied to the fact that they've gone through a considerable amount of privatization within their water sector. The argument from many, though, is that since this period of privatization and this emphasis on ensuring that water is, the sector has to, create a profit, there has not been an adequate amount of investment in the storage of water. And so there is, in fact, a significant deficit in terms of water storage in the UK right now, and as well in terms of the national planning of the water grid, if you want to refer to it that way. Some places, like in St. Lucia, have a greater surplus of water than others. For example, after the significant investment made through the Dennery water supply network, there was a small dam that was constructed in the Tunis area along that river, the Mabuya River, and it has meant, and that system is now actually at a point where it actually has a surplus of water relative to the demands of that area in Dennery. And so quite often when the water company is trying to get water to places in the north, sometimes these water trucks have to go as far as Dennery to actually take water. We don't have the benefit of a national grid for water, where water from Dennery can head up to the north. At least as of now, it's not designed that way. But this is the challenge that a lot of places have to deal with, the fact that some places will have water and other places will have almost none. And so how do you make those massive investments to move water across long distances is something that a lot of countries are looking at. We do have a clip available, in fact, from the BBC that actually looks into just a little bit about their story regarding water and the challenges over there and the need for additional reservoirs.
These are the businesses.
We've been living through one of the driest summers on records, and our future looks even thirstier. So what can we do about it? Well, build more holes in the ground like this for water to go in, reservoirs. Sounds simple, only it's not. Take a look at the numbers. Combine climate predictions, population trends, and new demand from things like data centres, and it's projected we'll need an extra 5 billion litres of water a day by 2050. But here's the thing, while it might not feel like it right now, we're not running out of water overall. Our winters are actually getting wetter than our summers are drier. All points to reservoirs store that extra winter rain to get us through the drier summer. And go back a century, we've been pretty good at doing that. Between the 1950s and 1970s, the UK built more than 30 large drinking water reservoirs. But get this, we've not opened a new one since 1991, coinciding, not coincidentally, with water company privatisation. Until now, that is. The Havant Thicket Reservoir in Hampshire is the first under construction for 35 years, one of 10 in the works. But coming here, you realise that digging a hole in the ground is the easy part.
There's new planning legislation in the pipeline that will hopefully improve and speed up that process. But I think it is incumbent on the companies themselves to engage with local communities and explain the need for more reservoirs to customers.
To help fix the situation, the government has designated certain reservoirs nationally significant infrastructure projects. This circumvents many planning hurdles, but not rigorous consultation and environmental rules, and it only applies to 2 of the 10 proposed reservoirs. And even if all of them are built on time, and let's face it, in the UK, we haven't got a great track record on doing that for infrastructure, the new capacity won't come close to meeting projected demand. New reservoirs should give us about 700 million litres a day extra, but that's well short of the 5 billion we're forecast to need. So we'll need other solutions too, like using the canal network or new pipelines to carry water from the wetter north and west down to the drier south and make better use of wastewater. All those are expensive and complex, but not something we can wait another 35 years to sort out.
Very interesting, of course, because when you have the challenges over in the UK, they're very similar to what we, in fact, are facing right here in St. Lucia. We've been hearing a lot of comments about the matter of where should we be getting water from, and many have touted the need for desalination as an option. Especially in the north of the island, where there's already a a deficit in terms of meeting the demand of water for some parts of the year, and the challenges, of course, of getting water from the interior of the island all the way up to the north. Maybe some may say that the option of having a desal plant could make some sense. Now, of course, quite often those plants require a significant amount of money. And then the big question is the terms of how that plant is going to operate. Invariably, the plant operator is going to want to know that they, in fact, are selling a regular amount of water to the client, whether it might be the utility or directly to other customers. And the reason why that is an important point, because quite often we've heard about the idea, well, we can have a desal plant that is something that we can use when we need to use it, when there's immense pressure. So in other words, when you have a peak demand, when you have shortages from other areas, and quite often that might not satisfy the economics of putting in a desal plant, where individuals actually want to know that that plant is running pretty much all the time, in terms of use. So it is, that has to be factored in terms of the thinking in respect of desalination or any other system where you're talking about meeting peak demands. Because of course the other thing about it is that desalination, water that is desalinated will almost always be more costly than rain-fed sources of water. There are, of course, other factors in it, in terms of how far that rain-fed water is coming from, and that sometimes has to be factored in. The transmission cost, if you want to think of it in that way. But it is, it's still likely to be more costly. So that has to be considered. And of course, quite recently there's been some efforts over in that of St. Kitts and Nevis, where they have also been looking at groundwater. Now, groundwater has been an option in St. Kitts, I think, for a little while. The nature of St. Kitts is that they don't have very many large rivers. They've got these ghats that are pretty short, very fast, almost, like ravines that they, because of the nature of the island and its topography, that has not really lent itself to large systems. So there's nothing like a Roseau River or Cul-de-sac River, that type of those large rivers in the case of St. Kitts. And so they have been looking at the matter of groundwater as an option. And quite recently there was an announcement in the case of some drilling that was being done over in the St. Kitts, and they were seeming to be successful in actually finding groundwater. Now, the issue with groundwater, of course, is that it's not just a walk in the park, because you have to, especially in small states like ours, islands, you also have to deal with the risk of salinity and salt water infiltration into sometimes these aquifers, which can be problematic. And so you may think you have a well, but the question is, how long are you going to have that well, and how consistent are you going to be able to get fresh water from those wells? It's a challenge that, of course, is faced in one respect. The other challenge being, too, that you have, in some instances, have to have some level of replenishment, because it's not a resource that is renewable. It takes some time, because you've got to sometimes recharge the wells from other sources to ensure that you've got a supply that's there. So that you may have to have injection points where you're recharging these wells. You may also sometimes run into geological challenges in subsidence in areas where you're doing a lot of extraction of water from wells. So it's not that straightforward. And so even the idea of putting in wells may not necessarily always be that straightforward. You may very well have to end up in a situation where those wells are getting more brackish water, and then you still have to engage in some level of treatment of that water, desalination of that water. So there is still that additional cost that you sometimes have to face. It could be something that you use when you have shortages, again, in a similar sort of way. But at this point, nothing really beats having the surface runoff method that we actually have right now, ensuring, however, that we have watersheds that are relatively well protected, and that individuals can, in fact, know that the water quality is pretty good and that it doesn't require huge amounts of treatment. Because that, of course, is the other area where there tends to be a lot of cost escalation in water production. And you heard it in that little short piece there from the UK regarding wastewater. And for many people, that's a taboo matter. The idea that you could be taking wastewater and finding a use for it, for a lot of people, they might think, oh, no. But we've seen how places like Singapore have embraced what they term new water because it has gone through so much treatment that it is sometimes considered even better than the water that you would have gotten otherwise from other sources. Of course, Singapore has had a long-standing challenge in respect of water supply as well. That is in part because a lot of their water had to come from Malaysia nearby, and that dependency was one of their greatest fears. What if that neighboring country decided to shut down the pipes? What would they do? And so they've placed a lot of effort in trying to ensure that they have that reliable water security in place. And they've made that investment in the technology, in the development of technology, perhaps far more than a lot of other countries have. And perhaps that may be one of the places we may have to look towards in terms of the level and extent of technology that is available. We, of course, aren't doing a very good job in terms of wastewater, and you don't have to look too far. The Castries Harbour is a very good example of just that. And in as much as we are speaking quite a lot about the blue economy and making better use of our marine spaces, we also have to consider how we treat our marine spaces based on the idea that we can just simply flush everything down the sink, down the toilet, and into a river. That river goes into the sea, and we know the impacts down there. We also know the impacts of livestock farming and how that is also very deleterious to the water quality in the near shore of many of our villages and towns. And unfortunately, our towns, for the most part, developed in a time before the whole idea of sewage was around. And that's the nature of a lot of places. I mean, we've known the city of London, maybe 180 years ago, they had their own problems. There was no sewage system. Everything was into a drain, and it just went into the Thames. And then, of course, they had the famous big stink. And then, of course, then there was a decision to, hey, let's try to fix this this problem. And so, of course, it took Mr. Basil Jett to come up with this great London wastewater sewage system, which they still, of course, have to be doing work on up to this point to improve on it. But we have a significant challenge in respect of our wastewater as well, and it certainly should not just be simply that afterthought, especially given the fact that we are depending more and more on our marine spaces. That's our dish of the day. When we come back, we'll take in our weather report.
We have tiles and tin sets, pieces and grout. Everything you need to sort the house out. For the best price and the latest style. Take a little drive down to Island Style Car. We got the time to make you go. We got the time to make you say, quality, price, service, choice. It's all at Island Style.
Visit us at our showrooms in Belarusha, Rodney Bay, on the John Compton Highway, Castries, and behind Ruby's Gas Station on the Library Viewfort Highway. Or call us on 450-452 or 453-TILE. Island Style Tile and Bath. When you think tile, think Island Style.
This is Radio Caribbean International. It's now time for the weather news.
And that's what, of course, the 1.1 is now time for your weather report at 12 noon today, presented by Island Style Tile and Bath. The forecast for St. Lucia Valley for the next 24 hours. Winds will be blowing firm between the east, northeast, and east, near 18 miles per hour or 30 kilometers per hour. The weather, skies becoming cloudy at times with a few showers. Advisory from the Met Office, small craft operators and sea beavers should exercise caution due to locally rough seas. And the forecast for the Lesser Antilles, partly cloudy to cloudy with scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms over Trinidad and Tobago. Elsewhere, fair skies becoming cloudy at times with a few showers. Tropical weather outlook. The Atlantic high pressure system will generate moderate easterly. The Atlantic high pressure system will generate moderate easterly winds and maintain generally stable conditions over most of the Lesser Antilles during the forecast period. A tropical wave located over the western tropical Atlantic is moving westward near 17 miles per hour or 28 kilometers per hour. Shower activity associated with this wave is expected to affect the extreme southern portion of the region today and gradually spread northwards over the remainder of the region tomorrow. An area of low pressure located over the far eastern tropical Atlantic is producing disorganized showers and thunderstorm activity. Environmental conditions appear conducive for gradual development, and this system is likely to become a tropical depression during the next day or two while it moves westward to west-northwest across the eastern Caribbean, across the eastern and central tropical Atlantic. And this has been your weather forecast as of 12 noon today, presented by Island Style Tile and Bath.
This has been RCI's Weather News. For more information, call the Weather Hotline at 454-3452. RCI 101 number 1.
Island Style. We got the time to make you go. We got the time to make you say, we'll have to make the right choice. Island Style. We got the time that will make you happy. Island Style. Oh yeah. We make your dream come alive in Island Style. We have tiles and tin sets, pieces and grout. Everything you need to sort the house out. For the best price and the latest style. Take a little drive down to Island Style Car. We got the time to make you go. We got the time to make you say, quality, price, service, choice. It's all at Island Style.
Visit us at our showrooms in Belarusha, Rodney Bay, on the John Compton Highway, Castries, and behind Ruby's Gas Station on the Library Viewfort Highway. Or call us on 450-452 or 453-TILE. Island Style Tile and Bath. When you think tile, think Island Style.
Welcome back to the lunchroom here at Radio Caribbean International. And of course, we do hope that you're having a pretty good lunch indeed. If you want to tell us what's on your plate today, literally or figuratively, you can call in to 452-3046. Again, 452-3046. And you can also reach us via our WhatsApp number, that is 284-6001. Well, we have been speaking about the matter of water, and WASCO has commenced some work on the northern extension of the 20-inch main in the Rodney Bay Grosley area. We'll touch on that in just a bit, but I think we've got a call coming in at this time. Good afternoon. Welcome to the lunchroom. What's on your plate today?
Good afternoon, Mr. George.
How are you doing, sir?
Not too bad.
Wonderful.
We're talking about water. In Nepal today, thousands of people died with a flash flood
Nepal.
at the border of China
Yes, yes.
as well.
Yes.
Thousands of people died. The water, 5 stories building, just wash it like nothing. That's the force of water.
Yeah.
Water, fire, and wind. That's force there. I don't know which one stroke the other.
Yes.
How the water coming down from Nepal, but what they said is an earthquake.
Sorry, I didn't catch the last part you
They
said.
said an earthquake. Earthquake moved the soil, and a lot of soil.
Okay. Yes. Well, you get that in. I mean, Nepal is, of course, a very, very mountainous country, the Himalayas, the highest range, exactly. Kathmandu has Everest and K2 and all these, massive mountains. And
Massive, and the way one on top
you have
the
some
other,
very
and
long, narrow, almost like canyons, basically. They are canyons.
Yeah,
and so these rivers.
Glaciers.
Right, and so of course, so they get glacial waters coming down, but then they're also susceptible to, as you rightfully said, tectonic movement, because, I mean, the whole Himalayan range has been created as a result of the Indian plate hitting against the Eurasian plate, and then you've got this massive uplift, which created these mountains. So you've got movement, you've got a lot of movement there, and so if you're saying that an earthquake is in fact quite the cause of it, that's one can understand, because what sometimes happens is that you have earthquakes which lead to avalanches. The avalanches sometimes create these dams. Basically, they dam the river, but these are not, solid dams. The water piles up and the pressure builds up, and then sometimes they break, and then you get these massive amounts of water just coming down these valleys, and these very narrow valleys, very little space to move around, and so you can very well appreciate the extent of the danger there. Very unfortunate situation in that country.
Talking about water, Mr. George, the way I understand water up in the sky is the water is snow, ice, and slick, all that are floating up there. And is when it reaches a place that's warm, it'll turn into rain.
I don't know about maybe in some parts of the world it might be that way. I don't know that it's always
but
that way. But
the same once it's up there, and once
because what you get
where that's warm enough, then it'll melt. But some they not even finish melt.
Well, some don't, right? But then in
what they call it's not snow. The other one like little
hail
of ice, or sometimes it's the size of a tennis ball.
Hail? You talking about? Hail.
Yes.
Yes.
Hailstones.
Yeah. So in our part, we don't really get hail that much because of the climate. I mean, you'd get that more in temperate situations.
Yeah, but our water, where it's coming from, it's not traveling up there.
Well, it's
like
what happens
water.
is that you have in a lot of our instances, you've got the air which has moisture. It's coming across, so that you've got evaporation. the air is moving, so you're getting it off the sea. It's rising, and as that moist air begins to hit the land, and then of course it hits a mountain range. You then end up having that air being thrust upwards, and that thrusting of the upward movement, it's cooled, and so then it ends up liquefying and then falling down as rain. So we get a lot of that type of rainfall because of that process, that convection process. So a lot of that's why, for example, in places like the tropics, the Amazon, you get a lot of showers at particular times of the day. So like you get afternoon showers, because then it's that heating up of a lot of that moist air. It rises, and then as it rises, it then gets to a point where it begins falling towards the afternoon. So you get that aspect of it as well. So it's very time based. So you have different forces that are impacting on how it rains
in life, because I to be a captain ship in and out of St. Lucia. And when I was training to be a seafarer, what that time they had not a seafarer, is a seaman, we'll call it. A seafarer work on the ship. But the seaman, you know all the halyards, you know all the...
Sorry, I missed the last part. You did all the...
See, a seafarer.
A seafarer, yes.
Yeah. They usually work on it ship with engine. But a seaman mostly work on sail.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're
I didn't know that distinction.
You learn all this sail, but the first thing you have to learn is to look up the sky. When you look up the sky, you see a piece of black clouds coming, say, from the south. And that piece of black cloud, the boat coming, and you can see behind it. And you have to shout, "Captain, storm high." And yeah, storm high. You have to take down most of the sail.
Right.
Get ready, but when it hits you, the way it hits you, the wind will be blowing, and the halyard will be whistling, deafening whistle.
Yeah, I can well imagine it's pretty scary out there when you have to be dealing with when you're dealing with large systems.
You have to learn that. You have to see, by the time you look up there, the black clouds, you know that is red, and you're watching behind it, and you can't see the end. So that's a storm.
Yeah.
I always remember that, even where I live there. By the time I see a piece of cloud and I see it come, behind it turning white, I know it's not a big shower. But if it keep coming and coming, and you can't see that's a big shower. It's something I learned from a kid, almost kid.
Well, thankfully, with the technology that's available now, satellite imagery, we're so much better off in terms of being able to. Well, we should be much better off in terms of predicting.
You press the button
weather
now,
and preparing.
You take a ship. You say, "I'm going to Africa."
There was some.
By the time the ship leaves St. Lucia, you already put it on gyro. You press button, it will reach Africa. But before time, you call a navigator. And that navigator have what you call a sextant.
Right.
And you in that sextant, you put that in the water, and it's spinning, and it keeps spinning, and it make a knot. And when you ask Captain how many knots an hour, he'll say 30 knots an hour, because he caught more knots on that rope.
Okay.
Yeah. The rope.
That's where the terminology comes from.
An hour.
Yes. Well, thanks for that, caller.
That's what you go and study longitude and latitude as a navigator.
Yeah, well, it was quite a long time before we actually were able to tell longitude. That was the challenge for a very long time.
Anyway,
Right?
good afternoon, Mr. Judge.
All right, thanks very much, caller, for that, taking us down that path, I suppose, that ocean of history there. Thanks very much. Have a good one. And of course, the number to call in to tell us what's on your plates today, it is 452-3046, 452-3046. Yep, there's definitely a lot that we take for granted today, especially in terms of just the ease of travel. But when you think about the risks that people took in the past and the size of the vessels that they actually went on and crossed oceans on, it certainly makes one wonder, today what's possible. I mean, we've seen and we hear about these stories now about human beings and the migrations into Southeast Asia and Australia and the Pacific region, Oceania, and you have some massive distances. And you're hearing about how our ancestors were able to make some of these crossings 40,000 years ago, 30,000 years ago. Remarkable achievements when you think about it. And of course, they eventually were able to get into places like Australia and Papua New Guinea and these other remarkable places. And it also is instructive how some parts of the world were still uninhabited not so long ago. The discovery of places like Hawaii, for example, by the Polynesians is believed to have happened, after the birth of Christ. It's a relatively recent activity. Even our islands, albeit there were waves of people who came across in boats, but the last wave was not even so long before that. In the just before the pre-Columbian period. So, and these individuals were doing these journeys using small canoes. They didn't have any grand vessels to be making some of these crosses, and they did so successfully. So certainly remarkable achievement in that regard. And yes, certainly we want to note the situation over in Nepal and Tibet and the unfortunate situation. I think even tourists, a number of tourists are missing, lives lost as a result of the flooding that happened over there. Now, just yesterday, there was a significant signing of a loan agreement between the Export-Import Bank of the Republic of China, Taiwan, and the Sanusha Development Bank. And of course, we know that the SLDB was established principally to be able to support the development agenda of the state. And one of these areas has been housing, and with the challenge of housing. And so yesterday alone, signing ceremony in the amount of 54 million EC dollars to allow the SLDB to on-lend to individuals looking to become homeowners, in particular first-time home owners. I believe we have a clip of the Prime Minister speaking at that event yesterday at the SLDB, where I believe he spoke to the matter of the thrust towards housing in the country.
It can't always be the bottom line. It can't be the loan. It can't be the ratios of the time. It's got to be. We have to look at these aspects of people's lives. You have to look at the fact people have commitment, and particularly the discipline, and they have their priorities right. So I want to tell you, Mr. Shinobi, your disbursement of these funds, I plead with you to look at these aspects, because we cannot be funding those who are already funded. We have to fund those who are underserved. We have to fund those who have the will, because all men and women have the same aspirations. At least most men and women have the same aspirations. And these aspirations are simple. These aspirations are the need for food and shelter. Most men and most women, that is what they want. And this is why the government has made a conscious effort to invest in housing and to invest with the private sector, albeit the bank, albeit the bank or private developer, to improve the housing situation in this country.
The Prime Minister of St. Lucia, Honorable Philip J. Pierre, speaking there at that ceremony that was held yesterday between the SLDB and the Export-Import Bank of the Republic of China, Taiwan, coming on with a $54 million financing agreement for first-time homeowners, so they can benefit from more attractive interest rates. Some of the offerings there, a promise of interest rates of less than 5% on those mortgages, as well as 100% financing for eligible public servants, as well the waiving of stamp duty on the first $100,000 borrowed through that facility, as well as $1,000 being provided as grant towards covering legal costs in respect of home ownership. Of course, that has been a major challenge for a lot of individuals to be able to find more affordable homes, more affordable housing. Of course, we know that some of the major things driving up the price is access to land, as well as the cost of construction on island, and so and in addition to that, of course, tied to all of that, the matter of borrowing and how affordable is that borrowing. And so, in this instance, a low-interest loan through a friendly government, that of the Republic of China, Taiwan, and its Exim Bank, being provided now. So, given that the loan is at a very low interest rate, it then means that the SLDB can on-lend it at an even more attractive interest rate. And so that is a very tangible benefit, certainly, to make that proposition in terms of long-term mortgages for a lot of individuals, to make that available. And so that's very much welcome. We don't have the amount in terms of what is the top amount, the threshold of or the limit for each loan, but we do know that, of course, where the price of an average home has been around maybe in the 300s, 350s, and it's been going up. A lot of pressure, depending on the size of the home, of course, and the extent of the complexity of the land in question and how much it's going to cost to develop it. But certainly very welcome in terms of being able to provide greater access for a lot of individuals so that they can become home owners. Of course, that is a dream of many. We hear about the American dream, and I'm certain it's a dream of people around the world. In Singapore, for example, they boast about the fact that nearly 90% of Singaporean families own their own home, and even then there's a waiting list. And quite recently, the Prime Minister, the President over there, was speaking to the matter of providing more support for families who have more children, to be able to ensure that they can get homes as well, as part of their efforts at dealing with the fertility rates over in Singapore. So very important step if we are talking about that whole thrust as well. That's one of the factors that sometimes mitigates individuals from taking that plunge of of developing, of growing families. So an important move indeed being taken by the government and, of course, the SLDB with the assistance of the Taiwanese people. That's our program for today here at the Lunchroom. And we'll be back again tomorrow, God willing, for another program. Hope you can join us for that. I'm your host, Alex George Jr., saying goodbye.
Radio Caribbean International.
101 number one.
Been up, been down, been in, been out. I thought I knew all about life, all about life. Then I realized life never promised you no bag of roses. Love never promised you no bands and roses. The more you live, the more you learn not to leave yourself open. Try not to talk till it's your turn. When you think that you're certain, you hold on. Don't let another man push you off your stance. Just hold on. Nobody front if you know you can't dance. Just hold on. Stand up firm and never get weak. Just hold on. Oh gosh. Now, if you're not quick to learn, then you're gonna be a come around. Even your brethren's will take you for the run around. Unless you know it won't hurt. These are things to remember. Life is free, you give the word. January to December. Hold on. Don't let another man push you off your stance. Just hold on. Nobody front if you know you can't dance. Just hold on. Stand up firm and never get weak. Just hold on. Yeah, yeah. Been up, been down, been in, been out. I thought I knew all about life, When you think that you're certain, you hold on. Don't let another man push you off your stance. Just hold on. Nobody front if you know you can't dance. Just hold on. Stand up firm and never get weak. Just hold on. Oh gosh. Hold on. Don't let another man push you off your stance. Just hold on. Nobody front if you know you can't dance. Just hold on. Stand up firm and never get weak. Just hold on. Oh God.
When I say blessed, it's the man walking up to the coast of Bianca. You know what I say? Let me see on there. Well, Babylon and listen, yeah, me all so far. Don't see who go, some of them searching for. None of them can hold them there. We know it's not jar. Give me Ethiopia, or else a bigger one. Babylon and listen, me all so far. Don't see who go, ask them what them. Hello, good night, good night. Yeah, well, them dudes are with no us not jar. Give them it, let me see on there. Oh, Babylon and listen, not the boys new. Can't arrest up, mommy, they are so too long. Blackness rich, so I rise black up. Black woman teeth and little, pity you. Fire never miss, so come and go on out Babylon. This going to Britain and United Nations. When you look what I go at my for repatriation. When you free up every prisoner and below. I know they do them say, Batty man I run your station. So that's the authority it's higher than your police and your soldiers no more molestation. Yo, this I want a repatriation. Babylon not listen, yeah, they all so far. Don't you go ask them what them searching for. So them job, well them, we know it's not jar. Give me Ethiopia now. Babylon, yeah, they all so far. Don't you go ask them what them searching for. So them job, well them, take it. Let me see the hands of those who smoke marijuana. I'm go assault a little bit. You don't smoke marijuana. No found no smoke cigarette. Box it. Drummer, let me hear no drummer man. No found no smoke cigarette.
Black and red Marian sound. Big baby French him day about this. Back now I'm living no. Now the dance and nothing I want. And woman say to me, time to go home. And try to convince her, baby please, could you wait a little longer? Cause in half an hour from now, you'll never believe all the wonderful treats and goodies you're about to receive. Selector's gonna say new songs. And if the crowd should ever say, pull up, you know that this is when you're gone. Pull up now, and it never planned. Pull up, yes. Now the dance get wicked and wild. If the crowd should say, pull up, you know that this is when you're gone. Pull up, yes. Nothing can stop it from. Pull up, yes. Yeah. Pull it up to the bottom line. I know you're gonna have a smile on your face when you look around and see who's dancing in the place. You're not gonna watch no face. You're gonna join them and say, yo, select a pull up. You know that this is when you're gone. Pull up, yes, straight to number one. Pull up, yes, yeah, the dance get wicked and wild. When the crowd say pull up, yes, this is when you're gone. Pull up, yes, and nothing ever planned. Pull up, yes, yo, pull it up to the bottom. Big up to people from near and far. Yo, big bag and car. Look around you, all the different people who surround you. From uptown, from midtown, and from the garrison too, yes. I see selectors floating in, that plate's ready to spin. It's all about the win. Some of them know the bill, still they're ready to kill. Anything that comes around goes down, yes. And that's when I hold my space from a distance, but I'm still in the place, yeah. Cause I know there could be showdown, anything can go down, yeah. From where I am standing, I can still see the crowd and say, pull up, down, this is when you're gone. Pull up, yes, straight to number one. Pull up, yes. Now the crowd get wicked and wild. Select now, pull up, you know that this is when you're gone. Pull up, yes, straight to number one. Pull up, yes. Yeah, the dance get wicked and wild. When the crowd say, pull up, yes, this is when you're gone. Pull up, yes, and nothing ever can. Pull up, yes, yeah. Pull it up to the bottom.
And we used to dance all. There is someone next to dance. Show it.
We don't love this. When we look and she walk one, I feel bun this. Man a woman not dance, what kind of club this? See them a turn up and dance with phone in them face.
Them put down that. Do nobody mash up with dance, how we fuck that. Too much of we youths, them end up in a dunker. Tired fi see man fire shot over who run the place.
From me nah go dance, me nah go nowhere, no. Nothing else in this world I'd rather do.
As soon as we select a drop, yes, tune them a fly a shell the whole place. Nobody in the dance now have no screw. Yes,
dance all alone and give it pure good vibes.
Nice. I grade about a lick up on ice. Money pull up the one half to play twice. Dance all alone, game of fun.
Good vibes.
After set a girl them in a me section, them a bub. Cause you want a white steak, the back to pour a double. Next one of the place I look a girl, no want a trouble. Top of them a flask, conscious all of them a juggle. A beer woman a pop up on the dance floor. I wind up till them close wet and still them want more. So now get ready for rise and liquor still a pour. When dance nice, everybody a pay out the door.
As soon as we select a drop, yes,
tune them a fly a shell the whole place.
nobody in the dance now have no screw. Yes,
dance all alone and give it pure good vibes.
Nice. I grade about a lick up on ice.
Money pull up the one half to play twice.
Dance all alone, game of fun. No nice like dance all. No nice. No nice like dance all. No nice.
From me nah go dance, me nah go nowhere, no.
Nothing else but a road me rather do. No nice like dance all. No nice. No nice like dance all. No nice.
Like dance all, yeah.
It's the Caribbean Sound. 101.1.
walks with me. Yeah. And oh, how he tells me that I am his own.
Number one.
101, number one.
This is Turn Up Radio.
Talk to him.
Somebody jump on the rhythm. Let me wait.
We're buzzing the big tunes. 101 number one. This is Turn Up Radio.
No boy no better than we.
Wasting my time with you, but I like it too.
All you want.
I'm wasting away, it's true. But I like wasting time with you.
Somebody jump on the rhythm. Let me waste it. Let me waste it. Brace, girl, push it back. Let me waste it. Let me waste it. Let me waste it. Girl over there, let me waste it. Yo. I didn't come for wasting time. I came here for wasting line. From time you see me there flat on the junction, just put your waist in line, yeah. And brace yourself. Party back, so pace yourself. Come here, don't chase yourself. Baby, from my walking, I have no time for no problem. I have no time for nobody. No story. From my walking, don't have time for the he say. Don't have time for the she say. We there. Let me waste it. Let me waste it. Brace, girl, push it back. Let me waste it. Let me waste it. Let me waste it. Girl over there, let me waste it. Hey, hey.
for the day. I don't care what nobody say. If you think I'm wasting time, baby, from my walking, I have no time for no problem. I have no time for nobody, no story. From my walking, don't have time for the he say, don't have time for the she say. We there, boy yo yo, let me waste it, let me waste it. Brace, girl, push it back, let me waste it, let me waste it, let me waste it. Girl over there, let me waste it.
It's not me you want, baby. It's not me you want, girl. It's not me you want, baby. I hope you find the one. It's not me you want, baby. It's not me you want, girl. It's not me you want, baby. I hope you find the one. You say I cheap, you say I ugly, you say I broke, don't have no money. You say I des, you say I hungry. You telling lies, but that's not funny. So I hope you get your guy. I hope you get your guy. I hope you get your guy. I hope you get your guy, Mr. Right Guy. I hope you get your guy. I hope you get your guy. I hope you get your guy, Mr. Right Guy. I can understand, check how you leave me for another man. Same things you accuse me of, you take it from another man. All the things I go through for you, cause I thought we had a plan. You take the bed, you take the van, you even take my frying pan. What I do to deserve that, my girl, I swear you have a chat. The credit card I gave to you, now I have to pay it back. The money on the joint account, you take out all and leave me flat. I prefer get a heart attack before I take you back. You say I cheap, you say I ugly, you say I broke, don't have no money. You say I des, you say I hungry. You telling lies, but that's not funny. So I hope you get your guy. I hope you get him. I hope you get your guy. I hope you get him. I hope you get your guy. I hope you get him. I hope you get your guy, Mr. Right Guy. Look, I hope you get your guy. I hope you get him. I hope you get your guy. I hope you get him. I hope you get your guy, Mr. Right Guy. I would never do to you the amount of things you do to.
Hey, good afternoon to each and everyone today.
I was always number 3.
On this beautiful Wednesday afternoon, let me just say big up you if you're tuned into RCI 101.1 FM.
Find me what time come, what time me leave. You always get
it. Sponsored here.
They don't even.
We're the sponsor, the half hour brought to you by Did Yourself.
That giving me mal. The pictures you.
And you guys already know what it is. Vibes on your radio right through.
When I ask you to confess, you cheat.
So in that meantime, we're gonna be taking one more.
Cheap. You say I ugly.
And after that,
you say I broke. Don't have no money.
We're gonna say goodbye to Did Yourself. Alright?
You say I hungry. You telling lies, but that's not funny. So I hope you get your guy. I hope you get him. I hope you get your guy. I hope you get him. I hope you get your guy. I hope you get him. I hope you get your guy, Mr. Right Guy. Look, I hope you get your guy. I hope you find the one. I hope you get your guy. I hope you get your guy, Mr. Right Guy. It's not me you want, no. It's not me you want, girl. It's not me you want, baby. I hope you find the one. It's not me you want, baby. It's not me you want, girl. It's not me you want, baby. I hope you find the one. So I hope you get your guy. I hope you get him. I hope you get your guy. I hope you get him. I hope you get your guy. I hope you get him. I hope you get your guy, Mr. Right Guy. I hope you get him. I hope you get your guy. I hope you get him. I hope you get your guy. I hope you get him. I hope you get your guy, Mr. Right Guy. I hope you find him, you know.
Go your way, and I'll go my way. We done. We done. Just go your way, and I'll go my way. We done. Music. Yes, we had a fling, just a one-time thing. But right now we done. We done. Yes, we had a thing, just a one-time fling. But right now we done. We done. Don't call me, don't text me, don't send me no message. Go your way, and I'll go my
that once. You mad?
We done.
You mad? A joke that ever.
Done.
By that being said, let me just remind you that two services, one smart choice.
Go my way, we done.
Enjoy the duo that powers the real connections. Fast fiber internet speed. Plus a mobile postpaid all-in-one powerful Digi Duo bundle.
Done. Yes, we are that thing. Just a one-time fling. But right now we done. We done.
Prepaid customers, keep your real connections going with our prepaid ultra data plan. Postpaid customers, you know what's up. Big data postpaid plans made for real connections. And also digital fiber internet and bundles. You want blazing 350 megabytes home fiber speeds plus mobile freedom? Then Digi Duo is for you.
For sure. I said to come a little